Welcome to the basement.
Of all first and last time listeners to the Basement Podcast, we are here face reveals. This is the first time y'all are ever going to see Pianka on camera. So Pianka, say what's up.
Hi, what's up, guys?
Yes, you've now all seen her. Stop asking me what she looks like. Also, Instagram exists. But alas, here we are. How are you this week?
I am so tired. I've been so busy and just getting on with all my things that I'm meant to do. So yeah, I don't know. Trying to not pass out. How are you?
Yo, I just got an EC claim approved. So that's for anyone who doesn't know what uni life is like at the moment, right? If you get an EC claim approved, that's essentially a get out of jail free card. I thought I really fucked it on this one assignment, but I'm good. I'm living. I'm gonna get it. It's fire. So yeah, exciting times. Um, but yeah, as I'm sure you guys might have noticed, we are down a host. Gabriella cannot be here today for I'm just gonna put it down as personal reasons. So yeah, it's just gonna be me and Pianka on on this one. But yeah, let's quickly get started on some not what we're doing stuff, some what's happened this week type shit. So interestingly enough, I feel like us and Vice were probably the first people to get on this, right? So, but it's starting to really catch on that the one woman is killed in every 3 hours in South Africa. I'm starting to see a lot more of those posts going up. And considering, how horrifying that is, I just wanted to ask, how are we feeling about getting that changed?
You mean about that changing forever as a situation?
Like, I think maybe what I'm trying to ask is too broad, but I don't know. How do you think we as a society need to take the corrective steps to make sure that kind of stops happening? Because I don't know. I've noticed this side of the world, in terms of certain things, we are kind of still 100 years behind. So I think the way we treat women is an example of that. And I'm saying this as a dude who's had conversations with other dudes and knowing everything that I've now learned through about theater and representation and performance. It's kind of been oh, this is what is considered sexist and stuff like that. I don't know. I think what I'm trying to ask is, what do we do to continue to change the culture and speak up on it? Is it just we need to have more discussions? Do we need to change education, right? Because I don't know, it's growing now. So since we already spoke on it, I just wanted to know if we had any further thoughts.
I think it's all about changing the education system firstly. So educating young guys differently to treat women differently for a starter. So you change the way that you perceive women domestically as well, not just in the workspace, because they're two different things in my opinion. So just changing that as a starter is really good. And just having more conversations, as you said, just speaking about it more openly, how you're treating women, just being more open about it. And I think that will lead to some good changes and some good beginnings, in my opinion. So
All right, great. Just wanted to speak on that because we mentioned it last time. In other news, Justin Timberlake. I think we're gonna try when we can get hold of the Free Britney documentary. We're gonna somewhat go through this in a little bit more detail. But Justin Timberlake has come out to formally apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson about essentially his I want to say mistreatment of them, just because of I think the Janet Jackson incident is quite publicly known, because at a Super Bowl, uh, I don't necessarily want to cover the story too in depth, but at a Super Bowl he essentially stripped her and publicly humiliated her essentially. And Britney Spears is kind of cited in the documentary that she's recently released, Free Britney, that the effects of their breakup in their relationship has kind of caused her like mental and traumatic stress. So we're planning on doing something a little bit more in depth on that later. But how did you feel seeing that in the news, right?
I mean, it was definitely one of those shocking moments because I think Justin Timberlake has been idolized for a very long time. And I think a lot of women like see him as this like ideal guy in many ways, like, oh, he can dance, he can sing, all these things. And I think, you're finally seeing him in like the real light and what he's actually done. And I really hope that people like don't idolize him that much anymore, considering like all this stuff that's now come out. I mean, it's pretty shocking. But it's good that it's come out now and it's more in the public light and it's more in the media and it's being spoken about more.
Hmm. The legacy of, it's an episode. I'm not sure when, but when I can get access to it, because it's not available. The documentary is not available to us in Zim because Hulu don't like Zimbabweans. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. They don't like us. So when I can get my hands on it and we can all go through it properly, there's definitely an episode on that coming out next. But otherwise, I think that's all the stuff in the news that we're going to cover, right? So today, Pianka I think about last week, you posed like a little questions on the podcast thing on your Instagram. Yes.
I did.
All right, great. So for this episode, we are essentially just going to we're basically doing a mailbag episode and a little bit of getting to know us with some very strange, random questions from a questionnaire from a questionnaire website, but should make for interesting conversations. You might learn something you didn't expect to learn. I'm probably going to learn something about myself that I didn't expect because this shit is weird, but here we go. Yeah.
Welcome to the basement.
All right, so Pianka, what is in the mailbag?
So let's see what's in the mailbag. So the first question I got was about, so they're asking, how many countries have you visited in your life?
How many countries have you visited in your life?
How many countries? I tried to count this actually today, and I think it's somewhere around 14 or 15.
14 or 15. Shit, dude, what the You're well traveled then. Okay. Where you been? Oh my god.
It's mainly like Europe, but I guess like, because there's a lot of countries in Europe, so it's mainly Europe and then the US and South America and, Russia, places like that.
Okay, first and foremost, I just want to know that you just African Europe, all right? You're the only person I've ever met who's done that shit. Where it's like, yeah, it's just Europe, and it's like, but there's so many countries in Europe. As an African, I just want to say that shit happens to me all the time. And for once, I feel for Europe. Shame on you for making Europe generic. All right. Shit, I'm about to do it too though, because I think every time I've left, I've either been to African countries. So I lived in Ghana for like a year. But otherwise I've mostly been in Zim. I was in South Africa for like 5 years. I was in Swaziland for like officially like 3 years, but it felt like 4 because I was doing boarding school. So by like the time 2017 hit, I was like out of there. So it's like 2013 to 2016, but I was there for like a total of 4. Shout out Swaziland, by the way. For those of you who are there in Swaziland, possibly watching this, possibly not, Swazi gold. I got some of that. I'll never live that down. But otherwise, yeah, I've been a very capitals kid my entire life, man. So the amount of cities I've been to has been like, I think I was Accra, Joburg, Harare, Rome. I think I was in Berlin for like two hours. But otherwise, I think I was in Hoffenheim, in Germany one time. I've been to Paris. Shout out Paris, and London. So yeah. Oh, and Dublin one time. Yeah. I shouldn't forget my Irish roots. Otherwise, my Irish family will smite me with the luck of an elf or something like that. I don't
Oh
know
no.
how Irish people smite people, but yeah, that's. I should Google that. But yeah. Okay. How
Yeah,
was
well,
Russia, by the way?
I guess like I've lived in Estonia, then Finland, then in the US, and now in the UK. So, and then along with that, that's where the travels come from. So I guess,
But we need to know how Russia was. How was Russia? Is it
Great.
everything they make it out to be?
I almost got hit by a car.
So it's everything that they've made it out to be. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's definitely intense. It's definitely intense. Um,
All
you
right.
know, we got to be careful in the traffic. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh wow. Okay, fine. What else? What else have we got? Well, we've got a lot of shit apparently, but yeah. This
Well, the other one I could pick out from here is that do you prefer cats or dogs and why?
okay. I hate dogs and cats, but if I had to pick one, cats. You?
What? That is, you did not just say that.
What is so great about cats and dogs? The only thing that a cat or a dog has ever done for me is ruin shit, all right? They scratch pillows, they chew shoelaces, right? Do you know how many shoelaces I've had to get? Okay, this is an exaggeration because I've only had to get one like set
That
of
is definitely an exaggeration.
yeah, right. But you know what? They're just and they pee and they shit everywhere. I just if I had to pick one, it'd be cats because they seem like they're lower maintenance. And there's also just like a good chance that maybe one day they'll just wander off into the darkness and never come back. That's
Oh,
just
so you're
me.
one of those people.
Yes, sadly, sadly.
Mm. All I'm gonna say in response is that I have 3 dogs, and I pretended to be a dog when I was younger because I had this. You know how like sometimes girls pretend to be like a princess. I pretended to be a dog, so like I'm very deeply connected to dogs. So when you said you hate dogs, I was like, no, no, no.
Okay, look, I don't hate dogs like as an animal. I think I hate a specific dog, right? That
Okay.
dog's name is Walter, and Walter, you owe me new earphones and new shoelaces, but Walter will never be able to pay that off. So
Walter the dog is getting hate.
yeah, yeah, Walter the dog is getting hate. But yeah, so I assume you like dogs because you have 3 of them. So
I'm
that
obsessed with them, yes, and I actually used to train them as well, like other dogs.
can they do cartwheels?
Yeah, they could. They're
Oh,
sometimes smarter than humans, so I won't complain.
I mean, they're definitely smarter than this human right here. So, right. I am not great. I am not great. All right. Next question.
Hmm. The next question is, what do you see yourself doing in the future? Like, what's your future, like, career, or like, what do you want to do?
You want to go or should I?
Go first.
Ideally, making Black Panther 4 somehow. I don't know how. All right. Not even sure what role I'll be doing. Hopefully as what's it called? Hopefully as like something. I don't know. Just something on Black Panther 4 because they're gonna have 4 of them, right? I know 2 is looking a little shaky because we lost Chadwick, R.I.P. But we're gonna get like at least 4 of these, and I just want to be on 4. That's all I want. That's the whole reason I've spent so much money getting a degree in film. I just want to be on Black Panther 4. So yeah, that's what I see myself doing. I do, it's either that or a janitor at like a school where, like one of my old schools where I can tell all of them are like, yeah, I used to be like you, and then life happened, and they'll be like, oh, I'm so scared. So yeah, either tormenting children or making Black Panther 4. That's where I see myself in 4 years, 5
Sounds
years.
but would you be an actor on Black Panther? Like, would you be part of the film crew?
I mean, I guess I'd prefer to be a part of the film crew because I like backstage stuff. So
Yeah.
like I edit this podcast and stuff like that. So that's probably like feels like it's my strong suit. But getting in is hard. Like getting your foot in the door is hard. So if I could get in on anything, if I was an actor, I mean, fuck no, I'm not going to say no to acting in Black Panther 4, right? Regardless of how terrible the script may or may not be, right? But yeah, anything really. If I could be an actor though, that would be the money. But yeah.
I'll be the touching.
Yeah, but I don't see myself making it, all right? Because you ever watch a Marvel movie, there's like the lead actors, and you're like, okay, that's a decent amount of people. And then you see the crew, and it's a lot more people. And I'm like, I feel like I have a better chance of being one of those guys than being one of those guys, right? And everyone in those film crews is talented. It's not easy. But if you're just doing the numbers and the math,
yeah,
it's like you probably get a better chance of being on the film crew. So yeah. Anyway, I've spoken for too long. What do you see?
it's a tough question. I see myself doing something in the creative industry. I see myself wanting to have my own brand or something, or my own company, which I know sounds super ambitious, but it's, ambitious, it is. Yeah, I see myself like doing definitely something maybe along journalism, writing, creative, something creative. I had a dream of being on television, like doing some kind of Good Morning Britain show with Piers Morgan or something. But I don't know how that's gonna go because, again, similar to you, there's like a lot of competition. So it's like, I guess the odds are much lower in doing something like that. So I'd say getting on Good Morning Britain or something is probably, I mean, Piers Morgan, if you're listening, Good Morning Britain, I'm here.
We got you.
Yeah.
Would you be on Made in Chelsea if you were to get something like television related?
Made in Chelsea. Do you know what? If I'm paid well.
How well paid? All right, because I was having this discussion with someone yesterday, and like thinking about it, I felt like I could genuinely take a shit on a piece of paper and write a script on what they do on those reality TV shows.
Yeah.
Right.
It's true.
Yes, this is shots at Made in Chelsea. You're terrible. How you got 20 seasons is an embarrassment to human society. But yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, if you get paid.
And if I can make my own script up, then yes, maybe actually.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Yeah. As I said, Made in Chelsea, you disgust us all.
I'm here.
I see what you did. You didn't say anything bad while I was firing shots at them because you're just keeping the hiring opportunities open. I see you, Pianka. I see you. Smart business. Okay.
A hustle.
All right. What
Yeah.
else?
Well, okay. Next question. What should I pick? Oh yeah, well, this is a very typical one again. Like, what's your favorite music genre? Like, what kind of music do you listen to the most, or what gets you in a good mood, basically?
I'm gonna let you take this one first.
Honestly, my music taste is very like varied, and I wouldn't say I have like one specific genre that I always go for every time. But I would say I'm very much into like, I don't know, quite like tropical house music, electronic music sometimes as well. And I like R&B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, that's mainly it, really, like to get me in a good mood. And there's also like lo-fi chill beats, like things like that.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. That's
Yeah.
that's actually a pretty good range. I just didn't want to have to answer this because it's so obvious. I obviously rap, hip hop, some aspects of grime. I'm not gonna act like I'm the biggest grime person in the world, right? I listened to Slow Tie's album today, which very, very good. So yeah, but I don't know if that's necessary, if that necessarily even counts as grime. R&B, yes, big R&B fan, right? I'm just gonna take a quick second to plug the last episode of the Basement Underground #1, where we did the Weekend's House of Balloons. So go check that out. And yeah, no, I just feel like my shit is basic. So yeah, that's the type of music I'm into. But I feel like you could tell that looking at me, yeah.
I don't know. I really find it hard to judge people judge people and like tell what their music taste is. I don't know. I,
Mm,
w- I wouldn't jump to I wouldn't just like say like, oh yeah, like this person definitely listens to a certain kind of music, because I often get attached to the stereotype that, oh, like you definitely listen to Taylor Swift and like, these like pop artists, and I'm like, well, you know what I mean.
I
So
mean, you know what? In defense of that, they're clearly obviously wrong, but a lot of people do listen to that music. So I feel like it's the easiest thing to do. Is that it's like,
that,
oh, yeah, everyone listens to Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift does mad numbers. However, as I've learned from the Indian farmer protests, if everyone was actually on social media, the number one trending topic would be farming. All right. Like, when I learned that there are 600 million farmers in India, right? Uh, yo, it's just, yeah, what we assume is popular is not what's actually popular.
yeah, exactly. That's actually very true.
Hmm. So, yeah, what's our next question? How many of these do we have left, by the way?
I'd say I'll pick one more, and then we can move on to the other questions.
Oh yeah, the
The
21
21 questions.
the 21 questions questionnaire. Okay, yeah. All right, let's get it. What's the last question?
Okay, let me just pick. Oh yes, this is an interesting one. Do you prefer giving gifts or receiving them?
I'm a receiver, big receiver.
Oh, interesting. I'm a giver. I prefer giving gifts. I get very excited about giving
We'll,
presents
we'll
to
get along great at
friends.
Christmas.
So yeah, that's it.
But I do get things back. I do give things back sometimes. I think thing people should know about me is that we stopped celebrating Christmas around in my house like 7 years ago. I think my mom was just like, I'm not buying you shit. You're not buying me shit. Like, let's stop the charade. So we just became accustomed to like, it's like, okay, look, Christmas, we hang out with some family members for the day. I'm gonna get like my mom was like, I'm gonna go get drunk on some wine. You're gonna take me home. That's Christmas. Cool. I
But
I don't know what you do.
you mean for Christmas?
Oh yeah, just because you're clearly giving a lot of gifts, so I assume you must have like a ritual or some kind of like plan.
Just get like gifts for friends and family, and just having like a gift giving thing where you hand gifts to people. It's nice.
Okay, fine. More power to you.
I'll ask 21 questions, and they all about us. Could you love me in a bed?
All right, great. So now we're on to our 21 questions list. Shout out Conversation Starters for giving these to me. They were just genuinely kind of interesting. So the first question is weird, and I don't necessarily know if there's a right way to answer this. So just answer it whatever way you feel comfortable. So the first question is, what is your too long didn't read? What is the too long didn't read it version of your life?
So you mean like a condensed version of your life?
I believe that is what it is asking.
So
Because
it's like a quick recap of what's happened to you.
yeah, because if I'm going to give a dictionary definition, shout out Urban Dictionary, it's basically too long didn't read, meaning a post or article or something with words that is too long, and whoever used the phrase didn't read it for that reason. So yeah, basically a summary.
A summary, okay.
Mhm. Like what is like I guess what is like the part of you that is like on the surface that people always reference, but is not actually like the full story. Yeah, there we go. I've done that. That's a good way to ask the question. Well defined. I'm proud.
So it's like a keyword, you mean?
Basically.
Geez. I would say international student.
International student. Okay. All right. Too long didn't read. What is the too long didn't read version of my life? Uh I want to say, I was about to say misunderstood, which would be basic. Uh, Failed artist. I think that would probably be, yeah.
Failed artist. Wow.
Failed artist, tried at a lot of things, didn't do so well, kept going. But if you read more into my life, you will know that that's not true. Shout out the memoir to my life. All right. So next question is, what should they teach in high school but don't?
Definitely something like life skills. Oh my god, there's so many things actually they don't teach if I just think about it now. Definitely networking skills, like how to network yourself. Job applications, how to write a CV, how to like get experience without having experience, all these workplace like basics. And then definitely stuff about like how to treat people in society, how to treat,
Women.
it's a lot of things. How to treat women, definitely big one. Yeah, so many things that school misses out on, to be honest.
Yep, definitely agree with that. Taxes. That's my answer. Taxes.
Good one. Taxes, definitely.
Yeah, because you know what? I've like literally never ever has any math class taught me about taxes. I learned about integration. I like, you did IB, so like standard level math. Like you learn about all of these things, and I'm like, yo, but I don't know a damn thing about how to do taxes. Like there's no life skill like I can associate with this math. So taxes definitely.
Taxes, yeah.
Right.
So important.
This is a weirdly deep one. What inscription do you want on your gravestone?
Oh my god, what if I don't want a gravestone?
I mean, I guess you could skip the question, but let's just, in a hypothetical world, let's just say against your will, your family has put a gravestone on your tomb. And if you had to have something on it, what would it be?
God, I don't know. I'm too young to be thinking about this. I feel like in order to know what you want on it, you have to live like much longer, so you know what you actually want on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to like know or like have experienced like a big part of your life to then be able to decide like what kind of thing you want, because it's just one statement, isn't it? And it's like, I can say like, oh yeah, I was the icon that, she was the icon or something, but it's just so
Yeah. Okay. I think I would probably just put like a Pusha T verse on mine. So because I remember I saw this on a gravestone and someone put like a Bob Marley quote and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Right. I think like mine would probably be like, I'm trying to think of the Pusha T lyric, but it's like your arms
too short to box with God.
Probably be mine. I'm not sure how it's relevant to my life at all, but I just feel like that would be a cool quote to have on my gravestone. So yeah, if I had to pick one, that would probably be it. All right. What is a cause that is worth dedicating your life to? Sheesh, these things are deep.
These are so deep. I mean, they're so like, I don't know. That's. I feel like there's so many things you could dedicate your life to that are worth it.
I mean, we know what we study. I'm not gonna out what you study unless you're okay with it, right? But we know what we study. So technically, isn't that what we're dedicated to? Or
I suppose so. Yeah, I guess like making creative work,
okay,
like just creating something for audiences, like entertaining people, definitely.
yeah.
But I was thinking more like bigger things, like I don't know, finding a cure for cancer, or like I don't know, like.
Here's the thing. I think about it. I would probably say something like that, but then I realized there's a reason why I didn't go to med school, and that's because med school is hard. So shout out all our people in med school. Yeah, shout out Saul, who's in med school right now. I know that guy. I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Don't know how they do it.
All right. What should parents stop teaching their children?
There are quite a few things they should stop teaching their children.
I'm thinking of things that I wish my mom told me, but it's hard. It's hard. What should we stop teaching her? That drugs aren't cool, because they are.
Definitely, like demonizing some drugs.
Yeah. Probably also racism, because racism is taught. So parents.
Yeah, that's actually a big one. Yeah,
cut that.
I would say that. Mm-hmm. Even if they're not supposedly consciously doing it, even still, like teaching that there's a difference between people, and that then causes like some kind of societal hierarchy.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, so
I stick with that.
Yeah, so parents that are teaching your kids racism, cut that shit.
Cut it.
All right. How much do you change when you know no one is around?
How much do I what?
How much do you change when you know that there's no one around? So like let's say like your flat or wherever you're currently situated in life is like completely empty. There's no one around, it's just you. How do you like behave?
The same, I'd say. I don't know. I don't feel like I have some kind of alter ego or some alter persona that I go into when no one else is around. I feel like I'm still myself. I don't know.
Okay. I'm toxic. I know I'm toxic. I'm like the most toxic version of myself. Right? Like yeah, I just like when there's no one around the house, and I don't know. Like it's not like I go like full like I'm just gonna start walking around in my boxers type, but I am definitely more like I don't know. I just do random things in the house that I would normally do under normal circumstances. Like I remember I think like one time my mom left the house and I just chilled in a room. I don't know why. There was no particular reason as to why I did it. I just did it because I was like, yeah, I can do this. Who's going to stop me? So yeah, the most toxic version of myself. How much do you know about the world outside your country?
Is it the country that you're born in?
It just says your country. So whatever country you consider yourself, I guess.
I wouldn't say I know an awful lot because, like, sure, I was born in Estonia, but I didn't live there for that long. Then I lived in other places, so I guess I learned about the places where I lived in, but I wouldn't say I know like a lot about a lot of places. I'd say I know snippets of things where I've lived.
All right. I'd say quite a lot just because I learned everything there was to learn in terms of like an O level and like an IB level in terms of like an IB level like curriculum about World War One and Two. So I know World War One and Two like the back of my hand. And
Oh
then
yes, me too. I
yeah,
get that.
yeah. So and then also like I keep up with like things going on in like the culture. So like sometimes I know more about what happens outside. Like I feel like I know more about what happens in the States sometimes than I do about like what happens in my own country because I've spoken to people who've come to Zimbabwe from America and they're like surprised when I know about like the differences between like hanging out in a place like New York and a place like Oklahoma and like the significance
Yeah.
of culture in Atlanta and the kind of rust belt of like Chicago and Illinois and Indianapolis and Detroit and all of these places. Like it's weird that I know that much about it. So I'd say a lot, but it's kind of like it's just enforced just because of the stuff I read online. Right. I need to read more stuff about Zim online actually, because I only catch like what Americans like start to notice about Zim. Like for instance, with Bridgerton, the Duke of Hastings guy is actually played by a half British, half Zimbabwean actor. And when I caught on to that shit, I treated it like fire. I was like, yeah, that's right. We got one in there. Mm. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Go IB history.
Oh, yeah, and IB history. Hey, man. That-
Teaches you everything.
yeah. It told me a lot about India as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We actually studied Zimbabwe and Ireland in depth.
Oh, did you do, I feel like you did like nationalist movements, right?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah. So you know what goes on in the culture. I thought I just brought you on because you were cool. Okay, Pianka knows. Pianka knows. Okay, great. I'll shout out.
Mm.
You did one thing right.
That's,
Um, who would you most like to sit next to on a 10-hour flight and why?
oh gosh, can it be like literally anybody in the world?
I guess so. I mean, you've got like the thing is, I feel like it's easy to default to a celebrity, but then I'm like, yo, but I have to sit next to this dude for 10 hours. So if I don't have so if I'm fanning out the entire time over a 10-hour flight, they're just gonna ask me to they're gonna get someone to move me. So I feel like maybe a friend might secretly be like the best person to do this.
Well, my default answer would be my boyfriend because, why not, obviously, but that would be the default answer. I cannot think of any like big figure or like celebrity figure like immediately who I'd have like a lot of questions to ask from, if you know what I mean, like somebody that like I would be interested to just speak to about their life and like things. I cannot think of anyone like on default immediately.
I mean, I want to say Kanye West, but I
Oh
feel
my
like
god,
that might be painful for me.
that might be quite painful actually.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to discriminate against bipolar people, but he has had bipolar episodes that have been very well publicized, and I feel like in an airplane environment, if that shit happens, then it's gonna be
It's hmm,
yeah, it's gonna be hell to pay for me. Mhm.
yeah.
I guess if I had to pick someone, you know what? I'm gonna go with the cute answer and say my mom, just because if I can put up living with her, then I can probably put up being on a plane with her as well.
That's very cute.
Oh, great. Okay. Um, what are two things what are two things you should know how to do but don't?
Two things I know I shouldn't know how to do.
No, two things you should know how to do, but you actually don't really know how to do them. Like you don't understand like the fundamentals.
Maths. Maths. I will say that 10 times. Maths. I
Math.
do not understand it. I cannot do it.
Very
Maths.
good. All right, and
If I could say maths twice, I would, but I'll say mm, Damn. I mean, for my age of 21, I'm quite bad at cooking.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm with you there. Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of a strong one. Like by my age, I should be quite like competent, but I'm really that like not.
Oh, yeah. No, as I said, cooking, I get that because cooking, I'm also yeah. If you ask me to make you like pasta and cream and bacon, I got you because that's the
Same.
easiest thing in the world to make. But like, God forbid you ask me to cook rice. Sheesh. I will not.
Same. Oh my god, I've messed up rice too many times. It's not even funny anymore.
I can do chips though. I will give myself that.
Really.
But okay, cooking is probably one for me as well. I should know how to play the piano because I actually got I got a merit for it back in grade school. But if you ask me to go onto the keys now, I'm dog shit. So yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm. But I should know how to do it. All right, and I can actually like read music, which is very it's strange, but it's not important. All right. What is something you've done that you wish you could undo?
Something that I wish I could do.
Something that you've done that you wish you could undo.
Mm,
No regrets in life.
mm. That's a very deep question
Oh, okay.
because
Hmm.
I'm thinking of all the things that I could have. I'd say, I don't even know. Do you want to go first? I need to think about this one.
Uh, so I fucked my leg up quite like early in like uni. So I think if I could undo anything, I'd probably just change the day that I went to do to do my like to do the football tryout where I messed it up. So I'd undo it and just do it a day later because I'd have probably gotten boots, like proper boots to wear. And like my thing was a freak accident. So I feel like if I undid the day that I did it and just did it on a different day, the likelihood of it happening again is like significantly reduced. So that would be mine.
Fair.
Hmm.
I definitely, that's actually really good one. The one that I thought of was COVID. Like, can I undo the fact that COVID happened?
Thing is, you haven't done COVID.
I kind
COVID
of.
done
Uh,
itself,
okay.
and we all just have to suffer for it. So
Mm,
I want to say yes because that would be great, but alas, I don't think that counts.
oh fuck. Mm, that is actually. Sometimes I want to say that I want to undo like the lack of effort I put in for my IB exams, and I wish I could have done better, and I wish I could have tried harder. If that makes sense. Like I wish I couldn't have. Like I wish I wasn't that lazy back in the day.
I think you could definitely say you if you want to undo your IB, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I would undo it, and I would do it again.
Oh Jesus, the massive. Okay.
Or like
uh,
I'd undo the exams, and then I'd do it again. That's what I'd say.
okay. Now that's a good one because I would probably undo mine and redo them again as well.
Yeah, I just want to like do better. That's my point. So yeah.
Oh, you want to do better? Mine were a disaster, straight up. I'll be honest about that shit. Like I was looking so good going into them, and then after I did them and like they came out, I was like, oh fuck.
Exactly.
But I still made it into uni, so fuck y'all. Fuck
Well,
y'all.
here.
Good grades for IB. All right. I made it. The only thing that matters. All right. Uh what do most people think about you that is absolutely not true?
Oh, this one. It's classic. People think I'm bitchy. People think I'm like, that gossip girl style or like some mean girl person. That's what people think of me, and it's not true. So yeah, people like often wrongly perceive me as like this mean bitch who's like Regina George or something, that kind of style.
I will say the first time I met you, I was scared to death. I won't even lie.
Why do people think this? Like, oh my God.
It's not that I thought you were like, I didn't think you were a bitch. Pardon my language. All right. I didn't think you were a bitch, but I won't lie. You definitely had like the cool girl attitude. Like it was like, yo, people are gonna want to get to know who she is because she's got something. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I remember, like, I think the first time we had a real conversation was when we were doing performances. When we were doing like the performances for the end of our first semester, and like we had a conversation. I was like, oh, yeah, she's cool. And then like we talked a bit on WhatsApp, and then you ghosted me. But life. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think I asked a really stupid question, so it was ghost worthy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna start using that more often. Ghost worthy. Right? You deserve to get ghosted for that. What is something about me? Man, people think I'm a real player. Like I get like people think like I'm like I think we covered this in the first episode of the podcast, is that people think like I'm mad play with women's feelings, but I feel like every relationship I've been in, like I've genuinely like tried my best to care for them. So no.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm a single dude now, so you know I've been single for a while because lockdown hasn't helped dating life. So yeah.
Just don't think what was it, the feminism episode? The feminism episode didn't do you any justice with the player.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of the things that I've said on this podcast have not done me any justice at all.
They really don't. They don't really justify that image that you're not like a player guy who like just judges the makeup and just says, well, fuck the makeup.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, yeah, I'm never gonna win on that one.
You know.
But hey, yo, listen, on that, all right, speak certain things into existence and they will happen, right? I asked people on Zim Tinter to stop messing around and, you know, get serious. And ever since then, it's worked out. People on Zim Tinter have been more serious. Now, I don't know if they heard me, but I feel like there's a correlation, all right? And, you know.
You gotta wish for it. You just gotta put it out there. Just throw it on the San Francisco Bridge. But...
Oh, jeez. Okay, whatever. All right. You know what? Now that seems like a bad thing. All right. Yeah, you know what? I haven't done myself any favors. Maybe that is true. But moving on. What is something that can't be taught and can only be learned with age?
Dating.
Yeah.
Dating.
Yeah.
That knowing how to be in a relationship and knowing how to date someone comes with experience and age. And it's like, you know, 12-year-old me, well, like my dating life was just the cringiest shit ever. You know what I mean? And it's like you learn from your experiences and you grow, I think.
I had no dating life when I was 12 years old. I was essentially a nerd and was banished by society. So I agree, though, that is probably something that you learn over time. What else is there? Hand-eye coordination. I feel like you can only learn that. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can get significantly better if you practice it, but I feel like it just like with age, it just naturally gets better, right? With time. Because I remember like if I was like 10 years old, my hand-eye coordination was terrible, but like as time is progressing, you just like learn it. Man, I'm starting to give some really terrible answers, but I guess yeah, hand-eye coordination it is for me. All right. What are the consequences of everyone having instant distractions at their fingertips?
I would say that you're not present in the moment.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. Also, you know, we basically live with that. Like, I don't know, social media is just essentially created, like that is just society now. All right. Yeah. Do you think the convenience of technology is worth the loss of privacy that comes with it?
What kind of privacy, though?
I mean, shit, I guess everyone kind of broadcasts their life nowadays. So I guess the interaction you get is like what kind of comes with it. But I feel like there's nothing like I feel like because everyone shares shit, like your information is kind of like all your information, like you can gauge a lot from a person from their social media, like
Yeah.
even more than they intend to put out, right? Hence why Facebook and Instagram, well, Instagram is owned by Facebook, but hence why they sell your information to advertising companies and like all of that shit. It is because you put out more information than you intend. So that's kind of like the loss of privacy, is that there's nothing sacred, like everything you put out is for sale somehow.
I don't know. I just feel like I guess people have the option, like the agency to go and make a social media account, post, and all those things. It's like I feel like if people want that convenience, they have a trade-off of like losing their privacy kind of thing. And I guess in a way it's worth it, I guess. Like it's kind of what it is nowadays because it's all based on, curating ads and stuff.
Mhm.
So in a way it's like there's no other way for us nowadays. So may as well just accept it that everything is kind of out there in the open because we have a smartphone.
Yeah, I mean that's the I guess that's the consequence of technology. You know, this is a very social media heavy podcast. I realize we've discussed social media in some aspect in like every single episode. So yeah, we except maybe the one where we covered the weekend, where because we did not cover any type of social media there. But yeah. All right. Anyway, next question. What makes you say, "What was I thinking?" when you look back on your life?
Oh my god. I would say, what was I thinking when I thought I'd be a professional ballerina for the rest of my life?
Oh wow. Do you have a picture of that?
What do you mean picture?
Like, I don't know, is there like a picture of you in like a ballerina costume, like doing it and
Oh yeah, like I have quite a few actually. I need to find them, but yeah, I was like a ballerina properly for like 6 years, and I thought that was my future. And yeah, that's all I can say.
hey man, well done to you. Being a ballerina looks hard as hell.
It's so hard. I had two surgeries after it, so yeah, it's proving to be quite a difficult lifestyle. So
two?
two.
Damn. Okay, I've had one surgery and I feel some type of way about it. So two surgeries. Ah, I'm sorry. Jeez, yeah, that sounds terrible. Oof. Okay. What was I thinking? Okay. So there was there was a time in my life where I thought I was really gonna be like a professional track athlete. Like I thought I was gonna be like the next Usain Bolt. Um, and I think like I think like what happened is that I literally went to high school for 1 year and I realized that that shit was not meant for me. Because like I don't know, I was a good track athlete coming out of primary school, but I got to high school and the game completely changed on me. Like there were dudes who were like 6'4" in like eighth or ninth grade, and I was like, holy shit, how am I supposed to? And like these guys were quick, so I was like, they're tall and they're quick, and I was like, nah.
That's not it. That's not what you want.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I'm trying to compete with. And then I was like, okay, yeah, this is clearly not for me. I did have like a decent comeback story though, because I think like when I was 17, and we were doing interhouse athletics. I don't know if that means anything to anyone, right? But we were short on runners for under 20s for my house. So I was like, hey man, fuck it, I'll do the 400 meters. I think I'm decent at that. Like, because people didn't want to do the 400 meters. So I did 400 meters for the under 20s as a 17-year-old, and I came second. Uh, and I almost made it to like the nationals, but I literally, as I finished that race, I pulled a hamstring muscle and I was out for the next
Oh my god.
I was out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, that was pretty terrible. But I was nice. I was nice a little bit, but yeah, I think I realized that sprinting wasn't for me because the competition heavy. All right.
It makes sense. The decision is fair and it makes complete sense. That's all I'm gonna say.
I was like, what was I thinking, man? I was like, I needed to be some type of physically gifted in another way in order to make that shit work. But yeah. So if you could live your life again, knowing what you do now, what would you change?
Mm, if I could you mean like live my young life again?
Like, let's say you just mysteriously, I guess, what's that show? Russian Doll on Netflix. If you could do like a Russian Doll, right? Where it's like you are at this current stage in your life, but you just die and you get to relive your whole life again from like being a baby. That's not exactly how Russian Doll goes, but she relives like one night, whereas I'm talking about, yo, you're gonna relive like your whole life up until this point, and then you will kind of like continue without knowing. What would you change with the information you have now?
Oh, my answer is gonna be so COVID based. It's gonna be it's gonna be YOLO all until the point of 2020. Okay, I'm gonna be enjoying traveling. I'm gonna be enjoying like seeing friends. Like being social basically with everyone, with my family and friends.
I see you're not going to take anything for granted because hey, like whenever COVID hits is when I'll get my time off from like all of them and I'll have like some me time. Okay, yeah, I respect that. I can't say I do much different. I think my answer is your answer. As lazy as that is, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, just celebrate life a little more.
Yeah, celebrate, exactly. I feel like we didn't celebrate, and then COVID came along, and we realized how we took it for granted.
Absolutely. All right. So we are at the last four questions. I'm not gonna lie, this actually took a lot longer than I expected. So let's do this. Is it okay to sacrifice one life to save 10? If yes, would you change your answer if the one life was a friend's life and the 10 were strangers? If no, why not? It's a little bit of a, philosophical question right there.
I would, gosh, is it a friend or family member?
It says friend here. So
Okay. I think I'll say I'd rather save 10 people.
Oh, damn. So you'd let your friend die?
I don't know, that actually sounds so bad, but like, that sounds so bad. I've just realized how bad that sounds, but like,
it's a hard thing because it's like if you let 10 people die, you're like indirectly affecting 10 people's lives in a negative way.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, if you let 10 people die, it's like all their families and their friends are going to be so severely affected. Whereas if it's one person, it's only one family. So in a way, it's like you're harming less people.
But it's your friend though.
But then the 10 people and their families and their friends are going to be, I don't know. I feel like you're doing more for the greater good by like saving 10 people than saving one.
Oh. Okay, so this is how all right. I argue that look, the 10 strangers are 10 strangers. I don't know anything about them. They might be 10 people who are terrible people, or they might be 10 people who are holy saints. I can't make that call, right? What I can do is I can make a call for my friend. So what I ultimately decide is like, I'll probably save my friend's life and let 10 people die, which is terrible. But I'm letting 10 people die on the probability that 5 of them are perverts or like racist somehow, right?
Well, what would you do if those 10 people are all really nice people and they have great intentions, they're genuine, whatever.
I see that, but I'm also like, I can't know that because it's 10 strangers, right? The question is 10 strangers. So
I'm saying, like, I was basing my decision and my answer, like, based off of the fact that they are good people and that they're nice people and they want to, they contribute, well to the world and society or something. And they're like,
yeah, but a lot of people don't. So I'm like, that's what I'm banking on, right? If it's my friend, I feel like if I know my friend is like a good member of society who I feel like contributes, and I'm like, yeah, of course I save my friend every other time. Also, they're my friend, so I'm more biased to that, and that's just human instinct. But yeah, 10 strangers, I think I just let them go because it sounds terrible, but people die every day. So save what you love. That's my philosophy on it. But
So
anyway,
I'm gonna leave it at like a middle point of like, I really don't know which side I'm gonna take.
hey man, it's a dilemma for a reason. But I think you did the right thing by saving 10 people, right? It's a very noble sacrifice, right? I think like I'm just a little bit cold of a person because I was like, let me do the math on this. What are the chances that these people are awful? And I'll work on that. So yeah. You have to burn, you have $100 to burn. All of your friends are busy, and you have the whole day to yourself. What do you do?
I'd go eat at a ton of nice restaurants.
That feels like a waste. That feels like a waste.
I don't know. Like, imagine if you get to go like these amazing restaurants and like just like, because like I feel like shopping is basic.
Shopping is okay. Shopping is more basic than eating at fancy restaurants, but fancy restaurants is also like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I would say like, oh, I do some kind of extreme sport, like I don't know, go like skydiving or something like cool like that I could do alone, but that would be a cool experience or something like that.
Yo, do you know how much it costs to do like bungee jumping or skydiving?
I wouldn't do bungee jumping. I'd do skydiving.
Okay. Wait, what? How is that better?
I think it's easier, no? Because you have an instructor and then they instruct you and they fly with you.
Okay, no, but okay, here's the thing. You are jumping, we're talking about jumping off a plane with a parachute, but that's still jumping out of plane. I'm thinking, okay, I'd rather do the bungee jump because listen, right? Worst comes to worst, I'm dying either way on both of these, right? But I'm just thinking the bungee jump is a little less short term because I don't have to take off. I just need to find a bridge somewhere, jump off. It's scary and thrilling, but then I get to the bottom, I bounce back up, and it's over. Jumping out of plane though, that's a hard ask.
I don't know why I'd go for the skydiving or like with an instructor over a bungee jump. I don't know why bungee jumps scare me so much more.
Maybe it's just like the thought that the rope could snap. The
Because
thought.
it's happened before, the rope has snapped.
Yeah. Well, okay. We in Victoria Falls there was an incident a couple of years ago where it's like the rope snapped and someone was thankfully didn't die because somehow I don't know how to explain it, but like the rope it snapped, but it also broke their fall a little bit. So like they kind of like stopped and the momentum like the most of the momentum from falling was lost.
Yeah.
But the rope still snapped, and then they still fell into the water and like injured themselves. But like,
Ow.
yeah, but it's like it's few and far between. Normally, like if they do like proper security protocol and they have their shit checked, it's like damn near. It's like a 1 in 100 chance of happening.
I don't know. Because like, why do I feel like skydiving is easier to do than bungee jumping? I don't know if I'm stupid or not.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong. I think it's just about personal preference because look, either of these two things, right? If we're spending money on them and just like trying to figure out what to do with our time, right? will end badly if they go horribly wrong. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like the fun of it, all right? Is that like, hey, listen, if you do skydiving, you know, you get up in the air, you parachute down, it's fun. You do bungee jumping, you jump off a bridge, you do the bungee. This is
Break your back.
yeah.
Move on.
Stop. Stop.
Don't
Stop
go
talking.
no, move on, move on.
Okay, fine. All
What
right.
would you do?
With $100, I'm going bungee jumping, right? I'd never do it under normal circumstances, but
Nice.
it's my money and I can just burn it on what the hell I want. I figure I might as well just do it to get it out the way. So yeah, that'd be me. All right, last two, final stretch, right? How useful would you be in a zombie apocalypse, and what skills do you have that would help others to survive?
My gosh. Tell me why my instant thought was I would distract the zombies. So that you could like drag them into like a trap and then trap them. So like tell me why my first thought was like I will convince them into some kind of trap.
I mean, I guess because you see yourself as bait, and I mean,
I just think I can convince them somehow.
you can convince
The zombies.
zombies, the brain eating zombies, that
Yeah.
that they should follow
That
you.
there's like something good that they want somewhere, and then I'm just gonna trap them in there.
Oh, okay. I mean, my useful skill in a zombie apocalypse is I can drive. Listen, I don't know how many drivers would be out there in a zombie apocalypse, but I have a feeling there wouldn't be many. And I feel like if I can drive, like I can get you from place to place. That's a useful skill, right?
That's actually a very good one. That's a smart one.
Yeah, and I can somewhat run a little bit, so I could probably also do your trap thing. So it's like, I'm like, listen, guys, if the trap is like 2 kilometers away from where we are, right? Because zombies in this world, because I'm not talking like World War Z zombies where they're like sprinting up walls and shit. I'm talking about like very basic, slow running zombies who like, you know, take their time getting places. I'm like, look, if the trap is like 2 kilometers away, I can jog 2Ks and like, you know, we can get the zombies into a trap and like that's good. But like anything else, nah. Yeah. I don't have a lot of skills. Having played The Last of Us, I'm like, yo, I'd probably die in the beginning. Like you know, like in video games when there's like a tutorial, like I'm like, okay, wherever you can die in the tutorial is probably the first place that I die, because I'm like, yeah, the skill required is just hard. You got to be able to shoot, climb.
Everything.
Yeah.
My other skill is boxing. So I did boxing, so I guess that could be a skill. I can just box the zombies. Why not?
Hey, why not? Why not? It's in a zombie apocalypse, everything is useful. All right, the last question. All right, and I feel like this one is a little bit of a deep one, but if you could choose to be born again and choose your nationality, gender, race to be, what would you choose and why?
That is so hard.
I mean, I'm satisfied with my race and gender. I feel like being a man has its benefits, as because we live in a patriarchal society. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Plus, I like being half black and half white. It has its perks. I can't con. Like, you know, if I'm being honest, there are privileges to it. So I don't know. My gender and race to be, I wouldn't necessarily change, but if I could choose a nationality, I don't know. Yeah, being Irish is also dope because you just get to go. It's like it's the same as being British. You can go pretty much wherever without a visa. So yeah,
True.
I wouldn't change anything. I think if I was to be born again, I'm cool with being me. Yeah.
Thinking about it, I think I agree with you actually. I'm happy with my nationality. I'm happy with like my gender and like I don't know. I don't think I'd want to change anything to be honest. Like I feel the same way as you. Like just straight vibing right now, you know.
Yeah, so we're clearly in a good position in life. So
Hey,
Blessed, grateful. I think if I were to change anything though, just for the sake of the question, I think I'd probably just try seeing what a woman would be, just because I don't know, just to see what the female experience is like. Obviously, sexism is terrible, but you know, I still encounter racism, so the isms are still a problem. But yeah, just to see what it's like, right? But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
like,
just always felt like being a woman is like it's dope in certain ways. Hence why you clearly would like to still be a woman even if you could be reborn again. So yeah.
yeah, but if I could be a guy for like a week, I'd definitely try. I'd definitely be interested. So just to see what the other side's like.
Okay, yeah. So we swapped genders. So I think we both agree we'd each swap genders for like a week. All right.
More.
Great. Well, I guess we're done now. So I'm probably gonna split this into parts. I think the podcast will probably be all in will be like the whole thing. But I think for YouTube, I'm just learning lessons. This will probably be split into like parts 1, 2, and 3. So yeah. But
Yeah.
we're done with this episode. Episode 7 of the Basement Podcast. Whatever title I come up with is a working title. So exciting
Cool.
times. Mm,
Nice.
yeah, exactly.
Mailbag.
Oh my God. So we made it. This has been the Basement, episode 7, the mailbag episode, whatever the title is, still working on it. Thank you for being here, Pianka.
Thank you for having me. It was very fun, and learned a lot about you and the fact that you don't like dogs, and I'm still not forgiving that. But
God. I don't
okay.
like a dog. I don't like a dog. All right. I don't. It's not that I dislike dogs, Jenny. It's a dog. It's a singular dog that has made me like perfect.
Right.
All right. Although it's technically kind of racist because I've let one dog impart an impression on all dogs for me. So yeah, I gotta change.
Yeah.
But this is why we do the podcast. I learned something new about what I have to do every single week. I'm so accepting of makeup now because of you guys, right?
That's good. I'm glad we changed your perception.
Yeah. I definitely think of it as less of a catfish now. So yeah, it's more just an expression of female beauty, which I guess is good to me. Yes. Anyway, we are out.